All right, guys, we're back. The Bowling Guru here versus JaysFinest, commissioner of a great sim league online, www.vgstrategy.com. It's the VG Gentlemen's League. We're in week 14. Playoff contention's definitely on the line here. We knew it was going to be a good matchup. Both teams needed the win to keep their playoff hopes alive. Steelers are second in their division. I believe the Jets are leading their division. So, here we go. Decided to take the ball first just to get my offense on the field. Wanted to try to establish dominance. One of the things, psychological advantage. You come out, everybody, thinks their defense is good. So I wanted to come out early, and just try to beat them in the submission early. So start out with a running play, grab 4 yards. Here, just a drop pass. I tried to hit the tight end across the middle. Actually, it was a bad read, but I actually got lucky that it was just a drop pass here. Here, I hit Gooden on the streak, but he isn't able to hold on. Safety lays the wood, so 3 and out on the first drive. Definitely not how I wanted to start the game. But it's one of those things. So not a big deal here. This guy calls for the fair catch and doesn't catch the ball, so able to definitely pin him a lot farther back than where we would have been. So here we go. Starts out with a nice little run outside. It's one of those things where you know what you're getting into. Here, huge pressure right up the gut. Lawrence Timmons puts him in 3rd and 14, and here off the edge, Alexander with another sack, 2 sacks back to back. 4th and forever, he's got a punt. So, now I'm feeling good. I didn't start out the way I wanted to on offense, but defense, definitely, I know in his mind, the first thing he's thinking is, what the hell? There's a lot of pressure early. Here, nice pass to Antonio Brown, a little bit of a touch here. Audibled into a run because I had a feeling he was in his zone and just didn't quite take the right angle there. So 3rd and 3. Here, it was just good read, good underneath. We saw him have the drop earlier, but he's able to secure that one for the first down. Here, nice little draw up the gut from the spread formation. Jay, definitely a good player, but it's one of those things where showing the defense the same formation but running different plays is just critical. Learn that from my man Kilo. Big shout outs to Kilo from MaddenStudents.com. Definitely check him out if you get a chance. He's a great guy, always willing to help people out. Here, up the gut, run commit. As you can see, definitely not going to bounce that, break that penetration. So here, I see, you're going to run commit up the gut, fine. I'll bounce one outside, easy 6, Felix Jones. One of the things I want you guys to notice, definitely look, it's already 2nd quarter. So, that scoring drive took pretty much the whole 1st quarter and, 30 seconds of the second. So, ball control is definitely key in Madden, just like it is in real life. Here, this Powell guy, man, he gashed me there, 19 yards on 1st down. Here, Powell, he cuts outside, gets me for another 15 yards, 34 yards on 2 carries. Here, just a bad read. Stick with what's working is one of the things that I say. Jay decided to, I guess, try me underneath, and, he paid the cost. I think that was actually my defensive end that got the interception there, but whatever. So, now 7-0. Steelers D forcing a turnover. So here, 2nd and 5. I showed this the same formation. I killed him with that draw one earlier. It also hit the slant here. Bounced it outside. I was pissed off that I fumbled the ball, but thank goodness was able to get it back. So, actually, and was able to get the 1st down. Here, same formation. Gave it right back to Rainey. Wanted to definitely keep his momentum going. So, was able to gash him with the draw here. Here, man, just good coverage. Good coverage. That's a coverage. Well, it wasn't a sack, but I kind of tried to chuck that one away, and thank goodness was able to get it off. So here, Felix just dropped the ball. But again, notice, 2-minute warning. I'm eating up a lot of clock here with these drives. Play clock running down on this one here. And this one was just, I had to make a right read. And again, big shout out to my buddy Hawaiian Buddha, as well as Kilo from Madden Students, just helping me work on reads and seeing the defense. As I said in one of my earlier videos, one of the main habits I had was plays that take forever to develop. So, switch playbooks, definitely trying something new here. Good beats his man on the streak. Easy 6, 14-0. Minute 24 seconds left in the first half. you know, Jay with the old school run back, get the full head of steam, but, you know, whatever. It's definitely not something I'm mad about. You know, we've all done it, so whatever. So here, you know, just good coverage underneath. Nice pass. You know, his man held onto the ball. I expected that to be incomplete, but, you know, it didn't work out that way. Here, another nice pass by Jay. He was in a hurry up here, obviously, and, you know, was just doing a good job of you know, beating the defense. And there I was lucky to get an incompletion, but, you know, not that big a deal. Jay talked all this smack about what he was going to do to my corners all game long, and I told him, I said, you know, listen, you're not going to be abusing my corners because I don't know what you've been watching, but you're not going to have that much time. So, you know, he took a shot deep. My corners held up for me, and what do you know, 14-0. He misses the long field goal. You know, here, run up the gut, 30-something seconds left. He's got no timeouts. Here I decided, you know, one of the things you always want to do, if you get a chance, fuck it, take a shot. You know, tipped off there, making Rivas and Cromartie. Notice we haven't had their names called at all. Here, plenty of time in the pocket. Fuck it, I'm going to chuck it up deep. Oh, I didn't get it, but what do you know, flag, pass interference on the defense. And here, you know, easy 6, 21-0. Total domination for the first half. 4 seconds left. You know, kick the ball off to him, let him try to do his thing. You know, it is what it is. Like I said, you know, total domination. Here, that 1 second should have ran off the clock, but whatever. So he took his shot. You know, whatever. I'm gonna give you whatever you want. You know, you're not gonna get to the end zone. So back 21-0 first half. In my neighborhood, you know, 21-0 is called a skunk. And if this were an offline game, you'd be passing up the sticks to somebody else. But whatever. You know, just a little friendly smack talk there for Jay. You know he's got it coming. This was definitely a good game. Here, you know, this Hill guy, you know, he was kind of getting off a little bit. You know, he had 3 catches there, as you saw. So more just, you know, defensive pressure. That's one thing that, you know, I've been working on. And, you know, just trying to make sure that I'm keeping my opponent guessing. Here, you know, I was in coverage. So, you know, same look. Sometimes you're going to get pressure up the middle. Sometimes it's going to be off the edge. Sometimes it's going to be hybrid. Sometimes, you know, I'm not going to send anybody. So, well, you know, similarly, when I say not send anybody, I mean no blitzers. You know, either 3 or 4 man standing rush. So here's 21-0. As you guys saw in my last video versus Oots, you know, I made a mistake of you know, just not being smart with play calling once I had a huge lead. So here, taking my time, nice short safe throws, first down after first down, and then, you know, back to the ground game, killing the clock, minute and change left. You know, here, just Jay he had no answers for my offense. I don't think, I'm not sure if Rivas or Cromartie had any fucking tackles, or you know, they were just non-factors. And here, nice slip move by Felix Jones there. Even though he only got 2 yards, definitely could have been a tackle in the backfield. That one, I missed it with Gooden. Could have been definitely a huge play, but, you know, whatever. Here, you know, again, just reading the coverage, having faith in my players, knowing that, you know, I had the inside position, working on my pass leads. You know, I can't say it enough. Shout outs to my man Oots 2011 for, you know, playing offline with me, helping me work on things. Shout outs to my buddy Hawaiian Buddha, who actually was helping me work on some things right before this game. And again, big shout outs to my man Kiro from AdamStudents.com. Here, you know, 24-0, fourth quarter, 4 minutes, 5 seconds left. This game's over. You know, I'm not worried about the same kind of breakdown I had versus Oots. You know, just I'm making sure when I got the ball, I'm killing the clock. Here he was able to get that one off. You know, had that pressure right up the gut on him. Here, tried to get some edge pressure, got picked up, but whatever. Missed the hit stick there, and that's why it's important, you know. Don't go for the hit stick unless you know you're going to get it. Missed it, and at that point, it's a foot race. You know, all right, shout out to Jay. Here, I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I don't know why I didn't come out onside return. Don't know why I didn't audible to it. I don't know what the hell was going on. Jay kicks the onside, recovers it. 24-7. Now it's looking like it's going to be a close game all over again. Flashbacks from last week. Dropped the interception there. Dropped the interception there. Jay got lucky. 3rd and 10. You know, here I should have sent more pressure. Shout outs to Todd Heap for holding on to that ball. I thought, you know, it was definitely going to be 3rd and long. See, there we go. More edge pressure, just sending constant pressure. I wanted Jay to be, you know, just confused. Nice tackle there in the open field. Here he split the middle. Palomalu lays the hit stick, and Heap just bounces off of it. So, you know, up the gut. Stop on 1st down. 2nd down here. Huge sack. I'm feeling good, man. 24-7. You know, 3rd and goal. He's got to get in the end zone. Sit back, and the tackle, he slams him down. He lands on the line. Touchdown, 17-14. Steelers still in control. This time I do remember to come out in the onside formation. Sanders misses the ball, but thank goodness for Rainey. You know, he picks it, gets tripped up, and here, you know, tempted to go for the passes, but you know, run the ball. So Jay calls timeout. I know I need a 1st down. Saw the corner, pressed up on him. Gooden beats the press. You know, he's definitely doing a good job. I've been putting points into him as far as his release, showing, paying off in this game. Now 31-14, 17-point lead. 2 minutes and change left. You know, at this point, it was nothing to be worried about. Jay going for his little, you know, running start. Missed the ball that time. So, here, you know, his rookie, shout-outs to him. You know, he uses his legs to keep the play alive, gets 1st down. Jay's in a hurry up here. Here, big hit in the open field, coughs the ball up, talking shit about those corners. You know, they made many more plays than Revis and Cromartie. That's for sure. His secondary looked pedestrian. So, you know, whatever. You know, here just killing the clock, minutes and change left. You know, just another run right up the gut, killing the clock, you know. And again, like I said, this was where I made the mistake with Oops. Let the play clock run all the way down, took the delay of game penalty, came out, took the knee. I don't know why I thought that would have ended the game, but whatever. Jay gets one last shot, you know, dropped. Yeah, I had everybody in coverage. Ryan Clark with the interception. That will help the stats out. Thank you very much. More shit talking from my secondary versus yours. And here, you know, the end of game stats, man. It was a great game, evenly matched, but, you know, I just dominated. You know, he had 53 rushing yards at 49, had 205 passing yards. He had 201. You know, one of the things that he had way more kick return yards because I didn't get the ball that much. But, you know, 3 turnovers. That was a difference. And last but not least, time of possession. 15 minutes. Basically, he had the ball for 1 quarter. I had it for 3. You know, just good game by Roethlisberger. I think, what was he, 14 for 21. When you have a game like that, you know, you're supposed to win. And, you know, shout-outs to Jay. He sent me a good game text message. And, you know, no excuses, man. He played a great game, but this time the better team won. See you next week, guys.